Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Sport on YouTube with me, Jamie Davis. And you're probably wondering why are we live so late on a Friday night? It is around 20 past 10 here in the UK. Of course, there's no football watch-alongs tonight, no football matches taking place, no more football until the weekend properly begins tomorrow, which you could join us for some of those games. But actually, no, we're trying out something new, which is a live reaction to some of the news stories that have broken out. But the main one we're going to look at tonight is something that has happened in the last few hours, and that is the RB Leipzig defender, Dayot Upamecano, has apparently joined Bayern Munich on a 5-year deal. So that is quite big news, and apparently he is going to go for about 42 million euros, which I think it was for the last few days that there was a story that came out and obviously reveals of how much his contract was worth, the contract clause at RB Leipzig, and it was around 42 million euros, which is quite frankly, for a defender like Upamecano, who is one of the best in the world right now and is one of the hot favourites to join a bigger club than RB Leipzig, it's an absolute steal from Bayern Munich. They've done it again, haven't they? Their recruitment has just been spot on in the last few years, and they've done it again with Upamecano. I mean, obviously, on paper, it's a great transfer. He still has to show it in the Bayern Munich colours when he joins. I'd imagine he'll join in the summer because, of course, the January transfer window is done and dusted. So he will probably join in the summer. Now, you know this news is probably going to happen when the well-known transfer journalist of Fabrizio Romano has been tweeting about it and been sharing other stories about it. Now, when he touches a transfer rumour or news story, you know something is happening. So it's a big story in Germany. Let's not forget as well, Bayern Munich had let go of David Alaba. I mean, he's still with the squad. He'll be with them until the season ends come May. But he actually has joined Real Madrid apparently for this summer, which I might be wrong. Feel free to let us know in the live chat page about your thoughts on this and any questions you may have. But I'm sure it's going to happen. But I don't think I've seen any actual, announcement from Real Madrid or Bayern Munich coming out with a press statement to say that David Alaba is going to Real Madrid. I'm sure it's happening. But what a deal that'll be for Real Madrid, and obviously for Bayern Munich. If that is the case, they've reacted very quickly to the Upamecano one because they've clearly just gone in the last week or so. Okay, we'll lose David Alaba, but we'll get Upamecano instead. How much is his contract worth? 42 million euros. Okay, we'll pay it. That's nothing. 42 million euros for a defender like Upamecano is an absolute steal. I haven't seen enough of Upamecano. I've only seen RB Leipzig a handful of times this season. A couple in the Champions League, one or two in the Bundesliga. That's probably about it. And there was one game that Upamecano played in, and that was against Man United. As some of you know, I'm a United fan. And in the first game of the group stage, Man United had beaten them 5-0, and Upamecano was in defence. So not really a good place to hide for him, and obviously for a player that United were after last summer, didn't look good in front of Solskjaer if United were at all interested in him come the future transfer window. So, I mean, I think that was just a one-off. I think RB Leipzig losing 5-0 was a big shock to everyone, including the United team. But the opportunities were there, they took them and they scored them. So RB Leipzig would just disappeared. But they beat them at United in the reverse leg later on in the season. So it's a very interesting news story. So I mean, it's all coming out now. Sky Sports have pretty much published that Bayern Munich are set to sign him, and of course this is a target that was at least for Liverpool and Chelsea. Now, of course, for Chelsea, the last few days we have seen that Jerome Boateng, another Bayern Munich defender, is heavily linked with a move to Chelsea, which to me is a bit hit and miss, and it's a recipe for disaster if you ask me. Jerome Boateng is not exactly everyone's favourite defender. In all fairness to him, since he joined Bayern Munich, I think he made a big switch to his career. He made a bit of a U-turn because his time at Man City wasn't the best. But you could see the potential Boateng had. Big, strong, but his pace just wasn't there, I thought, in the Premier League. And now, look at him. He's He's at Bayern Munich, and he's been there for a good while now. He's been part of that squad for what, 7 to 8 years. He's won the Bundesliga, God knows how many times. I'd lose count if I did that. He's won all sorts of trophies with the club, and this season and last season has been his best so far in terms of the trophy haul. I mean, it was only yesterday that Bayern Munich became the world champions, and maybe that's why Upamecano's joined. He can say he's part of the world and European champions, but it's for something Jerome Boateng should be very proud of, and it was clearly a move that was worth it, and he's clearly been impressed. He's clearly impressed his Bayern Munich fans and staff along the way. So I just don't think him going to Chelsea is a good move. I think Chelsea have got so many bad defenders at the moment. You've got Rudiger, another German defender. You got Christiansen as well in defence, and it's just like, really? Marcos Alonso, I mean, is he really a defender? He may as well be an attacker because he scores more goals. He does a lot better up front than he does in the back line. And for me, I just don't get it. I don't think Boateng's going to do much better. Thiago Silva, great defender, deserves a lot of credit. I think he can only do so much for Chelsea. Let's not forget he's a free transfer. But Boateng to go there, I just don't think he's going to sort out your problems. I think if Chelsea have the money, they should spend a bit more. And I think for Bayern, they could do with maybe keeping hold of Boateng. Now, last night in the Club World Cup final, there's the other defender of Suli. He is massive, he is tall, he is big, and he looks like he's just come out from the army. That's how big he is. And he was defending with, it wasn't Alaba. Alaba played in midfield. I'm trying to remember who the other defender was, but he did his bit, clean sheet. He did what he had to do to help Bayern beat Tigres in the Club World Cup final in Qatar. So who knows? Is that what the main lineup could be next year? Could their main centre-back partnership be Upamecano along with Suli? It could go down that route depending on what happens to Jerome Boateng. And sadly, we did hear recently that Jerome Boateng, the reason why he didn't play in the final last night was because he had to fly home because his ex-girlfriend had sadly passed away, which I believe was a recent split-up as well. So obviously his frame of mind would not have been there on the pitch. It would have been to have gone home and deal with what's happened. Joe Stanley has messaged us, one of our Let's Talk Sport YouTubers. He will be on tomorrow at 12:30 kickoff between Leicester City and Liverpool for our live watch along of that. So do join in if you are going to be watching that game. He says, big deal in big capital letters. Great replacement for Alaba, and to beat Liverpool and Chelsea to the signature. Also, Liverpool need to turn their attentions to Canute along with United and Chelsea. I mean, I'll say this now about Upamecano. The rumours of him going to Bayern has been a thing for a good while, hasn't it? It was always going to be on the radar. The best players in all the positions you have in the Bundesliga, Bayern Munich will always keep an eye on if it's not one of their players. It's what they do, and it's always proven to be good recruitments most of the time. Lewandowski from Dortmund, absolute no-brainer, and what a deal that was. A free transfer in 2014 and should have won the Ballon d'Or, which we all agree he would have won the Ballon d'Or of 2020 if that event had happened and taken place. So, what a transfer that has been. And they've signed some Dortmund players in the past, haven't they? I think they had Goetze as well, am I right? Yeah. So they've made some great recruitments. Manuel Neuer from Schalke, of course, one of the best goalkeepers in the world and still one of the best after all these years he's been at Bayern Munich, has won everything. So it's an absolute no-brainer, and the fact that Upamecano has chosen Bayern just shows that Bayern Munich's status at the top is obviously still there, despite winning the Champions League recently and all that. And the team this season has been okay. They've had some hits and misses. They've had one or two embarrassing defeats. They got knocked out early in the German Cup, which they got knocked out by a team who were 2-3 divisions below them as well, which was quite an embarrassment. And some people started to wondering if maybe Hansi Flick has had a bit of luck with this team, just winning all those trophies last season. But that's the media and that's the criticism you're going to get, sadly, when you lose just the one game, which, by the way, Hansi Flick has done a great job at Bayern. If he left today, he'd won 6 trophies pretty much in less than a year. So after the team this time last year, or just before this time last year, were not even top, and for once that rattled, and then he came in, turned it around. So he's done a great job. So it's an interesting one. It's a good move for Upamecano. I think it's pretty much going to be happening. I'm not sure when we're expecting the deal to be announced. Sorry, excuse me. Sorry, excuse me. Always sneezing at the moment. Too much cold air in this world at the moment. Excuse me. Apologies about that. But it looks as though it's going to happen. Dayot Upamecano to join Bayern Munich. Let us know in the comments below. Let's just see if there's any more news about it. Apparently he chose Bayern over Chelsea, Liverpool and others. I'd imagine the others might have been at least Man United. I think Real Madrid might have been in there, but I think with the signing of David Alaba, maybe they were settled with what they got. Of course, let's not forget how many teams can actually spend a lot of money this summer, because this is we're looking to be going into the end of the full season of having no fans attending most of the grounds, which, can you imagine how much money has been missed out per match day? Millions. And the fact that money hasn't come in ahead of this summer, there will be some limits, I think. I mean, look what January brought. It was really quiet. I mean, January can be quiet anyway, but it was so quiet back in January. In a weird way, it was quite refreshing. You want to see a busy transfer window and get excited about it, but sometimes it's quite nice to see all the teams not, just to actually challenge themselves even more, despite that one or two teams would need improvements in defence. Liverpool, for example. Man City, you'd think, might have looked at one or two players up front for the remainder of the season. Nope. They've just gone on with it, and despite all the money that club has, they've left that behind and are going to rely on the squad that they've got. And maybe it's going to be a good choice. They're top of the league and they should win it. I'd say they've got one hand on the Premier League trophy so far. So Fabrizio Romano just said that Salihamidzic just confirmed to Bild, of course that's a news outlet, that Dayot Upamecano has reached an agreement with Bayern Munich on personal terms. I can confirm we're very happy. The deal will be signed and completed in the coming months, when the release clause of 42.5 million euros will be paid to RB Leipzig. Again, what a deal. 42.5 million for a defender in that caliber. You know, there's not many of of defenders out there that you could get around that price that has the skill and the strengthness of controlling the back line. So it's going to be interesting. So obviously between now and the end of the season, he'll still be playing for RB Leipzig. Leipzig going for the league. I think they're 7 points behind Bayern Munich. So obviously they can't afford more slip-ups. And for Bayern Munich fans, it's exciting for them now, because I'm sure they may want to watch a few RB Leipzig games before the end of the season to see what their new defender is going to look like. There was a tweet earlier from Get French Football News, so obviously dedicated to French football. The tweet says, Bayern Munich's stable of Frenchmen grows once more. Benjamin Pavard, Lucas Hernandez, Tanguy Kouassi, Quentin Toulouse, Kingsley Coman, Michael Quinsons, who's on loan, Bruno Sarr, pre-selected for the French national team, and Dayot Upamecano, which, if it goes to plan, will be a new recruit come July. So it's not a German team anymore. It's a French team. It's a Paris team. Who knows? Christian Falk, of course, who is a Bayern Munich journalist as well as a German journalist, he has actually put a tweet out this evening at 8:15 p.m. He said, "True with a tick emoji. Chelsea and Liverpool expected in the last days of the rejection of Upamecano and are now concentrating on Canute as a new candidate." And apparently United are also interested. So we'll see what happens there. United need a new centre-back, I think. As you know, I'm a United fan. They do need a new defender. Maguire and Lindelof showed what problems they have provided now and again. Last weekend when they played Everton, when they just weren't quick enough and they scored because of it. And I just think they do need a new defender. They need a leader in defence. I don't know much about Canute. It'll be interesting to see where he goes, if he does go this summer. But it's going to be a tough battle between Liverpool, Chelsea and United. I guess it comes down to who pays the most and which one attracts Canute the most. Was any of them his boyhood team? We'll find out. But probably in the summer. Of course, Bayern Munich don't play this weekend. RB Leipzig actually played tonight, and I'll just double check, but I think because RB Leipzig did play at home tonight against Augsburg in the Bundesliga, and they did win 2-1, so it was a big win for them. It was a first half goal, which was a penalty from Olmo in the 38th minute, followed by, in 5 minutes or so after the penalty goal, Christopher Konku on the 43rd minute. And then Augsburg got a penalty from Kayegri on the 77th minute from a penalty, but they could not turn it around, and RB Leipzig get those 3 vital points. And of course, there's no Bayern Munich this weekend, so that means Bayern Munich will get a game in hand over Leipzig whenever they play that fixture. So, actually, let's just check. Was Upamecano playing this evening? Upamecano looks as though he wasn't. He was on the bench. Sorry, he was on the bench, but he wasn't used. So, interesting. Of course, Canute is a teammate of Upamecano's. Would RB Leipzig be happy to see 2 main defenders go? I mean, it wouldn't look good, would it? It would be quite a bad summer for them, for a team that were semi-finalists of the Champions League last season. But that's the problem. When you're a new team looking a bit, looking like you're building up a big squad, you're going to have all the big clubs interested in them, and it's very hard to keep them when you haven't got that kind of legacy compared to like Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Man United, Barcelona, Liverpool. It's difficult. So I think their big challenge is to try and keep players like that in the future. But Leipzig have a great model of bringing up players, not costing them much, and then selling them off for big money, like Dortmund will probably do this summer with Erling Haaland, Jadon Sancho. I'm sure will be gone this summer if they don't get Champions League football. Haaland linked to Man City, United, Sancho with United as well. So I think we're going to see a lot of transfers in the Bundesliga this summer. We'll see, but I think we're going to have a very, very busy summer ahead with the Bundesliga teams. It's very exciting. What do you think anyway, folks? We're going to just wrap up the stream here. Thank you very much for watching. So, in summary, Upamecano has apparently, as of tonight, chosen Bayern Munich as his future team and will join them this summer for a fee of around 42.5 million euros from RB Leipzig. Anyway, comment below, let us know your thoughts. Is it a good transfer or you're not too sure? And who should Liverpool, Chelsea, United look into next? Of course, with Upamecano saying no to English football. Give us a like and subscribe to Let's Talk Sport. Thank you for watching.